Good morning, everybody. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? It's around 8:10 a.m. here in San Antonio, Texas. 78230, but not like the zip code has anything to do with that. Anyway, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Banjo and I already went out on our walk, but I figured, you know what, maybe make a video. I haven't done a chit-chat video in a while. And then, so decided to make a video. It's gonna be here because, like I just stated, I already took Banjo on his walk this morning. I already posted my Instagram morning posts routine. Just good to do if maybe you're feeling a bit out of sorts in your life. Anyway, so I decided to make a video because I haven't had a chit chat with y'all. And then I said, well, what am I going to talk about? It's usually how it goes. So, well, I don't really want to talk about myself so much. I think, it's been 5 years. And then, I don't know, maybe 8 years before then. So, my mom's at a doctor's appointment right now. So I don't really have the car to, like, add in the video. Anyway, so I decided to talk about was, I guess, the three branches. We have this branch here in the tree, or in the fence right here. Obviously not in the tree. It's kind of stuck like that. I could take it out, but I kind of like it as decoration. And it kind of likes me. Anyway, the three branches of government, I guess. For my 2 points, I guess, is the USAID and the deportations of going on in the southern border. I have, as far as politics goes, I haven't really seen a lot of stories. I haven't really looked on any. I know if you go to like certain websites, news websites, there's probably plenty of stories, but I just haven't done that recently. I've just kind of been looking at headlines and stuff like that via the little news section I have on my phone. Samsung T-Mobile. And just Twitter. And Google Trends. So anyway, with that said, I don't have too many details. I guess is what I'm saying. A roundabout way to say that. But from what I have seen, not too detailed, is this USAID thing, which I think it's those two topics, right? The USAID and the deportations in the southern border, which I think also kind of puts like the Teslas kind of thing going on in there. So anyway, because of Doge. But anyway, so what cryptocurrency was involved with that Doge? Anyway, why? Because I feel kind of silly saying it. The church bells? Y'all hear that? Oh, maybe they opened up that new church down the street on my jogging route. They might have opened it up. I hear like a church bell. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Because sometimes I sound really loud on my phone. Anyway, so we got nice chit-chatting with y'all. What I wanted to say was, I guess, the branches of government. I'm going to start first with the USAID. As far as the funding, I think that's really interesting as far as the judicial branch and the executive branch relationship. As far as all that goes, I've been scrolling through Twitter and I saw videos of like people leaving their offices and their stuff in a box. Just kind of that stereotypical, like, you leaving your job or you got fired or whatever. They packed up their desk and they left um, for the USAID. And as far as all that goes, I think it would be interesting to see um, as far as what I guess each specific government where that USAID was going has to say about that. Maybe over time, I don't know, to get reorganized, or I don't know. And I guess also the UN, what the UN has to say about that. That's usually kind of like the scope of practice for the UN. So I'm thinking that it'd be interesting to see what organizations the UN is going to participate in, voice their professionalism on this USAID move strategy by the United States government, specifically the Trump administration. Um, so yeah, as far as all that goes, I think there was like a judge that said that there has to be funding. And also, speaking of which, I think it'll be interesting. Ken Paxton aside, um, what kind of lawsuits are going on for the administration and stuff like that. The 45th and the 47th. Um, yeah. And obviously the 46th, but you know, just to inquire about things. So yeah, I think there was this one judge that said that the funding was in the billions, had to be reinstated. I think the funding for the employees of the USAID, and as far as employees, I think it might have been volunteer or something like that. I don't know. The wording was weird. It was some headline somewhere. So there's that. Saying he can't do that, which I think is interesting because wasn't there was there a trial about a lawsuit about him being able to run again as president? I know Congress did something like that, right? Quoting the Constitution for that. But anyway, so yeah, basically for the USAID, I think there was one judge that said the funding had to be reinstated, whether it was for the employees of USAID or for the USAID programs itself. I can't remember. But I think the important part there is the executive branch was there, and what these countries' governments have to say, and maybe also the UN. How is this affecting people? Is it kind of better? Is it more money, more problems? Maybe people can solve their own problems. Maybe. Maybe it's not even a problem at all. Anyway, don't ask Chelsea Clinton that, though. She'll obviously disagree. Anyway, the deportations in the southern border, I think is very interesting, very involved. So we got Noem over there taking photos of her next to all these bags of cocaine. So okay, I know that's expensive. So that's interesting, right? Obviously a conversation to be had. I'm just saying. That's where I'm at. Noem is unforgiving. So you know I haven't gotten that one paycheck. Not a one. But obviously it's not an issue. Not one paycheck, not one alert of any lawsuit, legal, any of that. But anyway, I say that for the southern border situation going on, I think it's very interesting. Apparently, according to some judge, saying that The president can't have the executive order that the president had, 47, um, with deporting these criminal aliens in the country illegally. And then what they've done here is considered illegal activities, illegal, illicit activities, and getting deported. 47 executive order, and judge saying no. First it was a verbal order, and I think the verbal order happened before the executive order, and then there was the executive order, and then the judge had a written order. I'm not sure about the written order part, but I think that came later, and I think that's what Caroline Leavitt is concerned about. But I guess she's in immigration law, the judge. I don't know. I don't know anything about the judge. But anyway, I think it also very interesting, very involved. I think people go to America, we're consumers. That's what we are, and that's fine. And spend a lot of money, make a lot of money. I'm sure you don't have to only do that in America, but it is a business adventure in America that you can do, and stereotype of making money. And as far as businesses and stuff go, it's you go where you make money, right? So I think it's very interesting that I need to clear my throat 1 second. Okay, so I think it's very interesting with this judge saying that, because first of all, apparently it makes Governor Greg Abbott more in compliance with the law than the 47th President of the United States. Just want to put that side note in there. Which is interesting because that's where the whole issue is, right? And what I said in 2021, before and after I got sent to the hospital, I was like, West Texas? Texas is big. How are people getting to West Texas? And okay, so people are not going to be scared of Texans anymore. So, you know, it doesn't seem, as far as stereotypes go, it doesn't seem. One thing I do want to point out is people, maybe there are certain stereotypes and all of that involved. It could have been, I think, I'm sure that, that all this stuff is going on, but I do want to mention things can always get worse. And as far as being in open carry, concealed carry state, and how quickly things can escalate. I think as far as all that goes, it could have been worse, right? People say, how many guns are in America? How many guns are in Texas? And what's happened has happened, right? What I'm saying is it could have been a lot worse than that. There could have been a lot more gun violence than I guess there has been. Another side note, especially concerning drugs, DEA. I think it's interesting as far as supply and demand and how all that goes. Fentanyl seems really dangerous. And stuff like that. And as far as the flow of drugs and the flow of money, I think is a recent tweet I posted specifically on Noem's photo where she was standing next to all these packages of cocaine. So yeah, I think that's interesting and can be involved in stuff like that. I think it's very interesting how the Governor Greg Abbott is more compliance with the judicial branch than my husband, 47. And I guess open border policy of 46. which again is very interesting considering the oil and gas, right? Um, I haven't been reading the San Antonio Express news, but domestic production and imported production of oil and gas, I think, is something that in the essay Inc. of the San Antonio Express news, there's graphs and stuff on the very last page that show all that, of which I have not been keeping up. But anyway, that is what Texas is known for. It is a dangerous job, um, so on and so forth. So yeah, the president of El Salvador very quickly addressed that issue and situation brought upon 47's executive order, I think. Um, so yeah, there's that, which I think again is interesting with these Teslas. Oh, and something else I wanted to say about this astronauts. This, I guess, my third point. This Tesla, Elon, kind of seeps into kind of everything, right? Um, as far as the astronauts spending 286 days in space, I googled it. That's like 9 months. I'm surprised that they didn't bring home a baby. So I bet Tesla and space, or Elon and SpaceX, are. You better be doing your research. You want to move everybody to Mars? You need to be asking some questions, writing things down, all that. First of all, how did you do it? We all want to know. 286 days, how many people in space? How'd y'all do it? Okay, SpaceX, your whole part of your business platform is colonizing Mars. So we're going to be we're going to be waiting on all those reports about all that. Okay? So if people can't do it, then they're not going to colonize Mars. Okay? I'm just saying. Here I am. I'm letting SpaceX know. You know, how are people going to be able to do it? How does that work? Inquiring minds want to know. And please be appropriate about it, okay? Anyway, and so yeah, this whole Tesla thing I think is very interesting as far as how it's talked about. It's an attack on Elon Musk and Doge. Obviously, that's questionable. I mean, now Elon's a problem. I've been saying that since 2021. I'm glad everybody else finally agrees with me. So yeah, I think it's interesting how, first of all, how it's being reported. I think maybe that what the FBI would probably be doing is seeing if there's, why is it not being reported about the individual owner of the Tesla? Wouldn't that be the main concern, Elon? And I'm sure a statement he has already put out, right? It being days later of several instances of this happening. I think the first one happening in a Cybertruck in front of the Trump Hotel. At the Trump Hotel. It was right in front of the entrance doors, of which May Musk went on Fox News to discuss. So yeah, I think it's interesting how it's being talked about. I wonder what the prices of Tesla have gone down. I know, and I've seen throughout these past 5 years different kind of protests, and obviously I know there's going to be some pushback saying I have no right to, or how rich it is of me to be talking about protests, right? Of which, I've already addressed on my YouTube videos and stuff like that. They're Thursday. And as far as there being any sort of warning in the public square about events happening there. I never saw that. Um, but anyway, as far as the protests, I've seen different kind of protests. There's some where they protest art. I really wasn't sure about that. So why are you destroying this art in protest of what? I think it was oil. So obviously, I don't know. That would be in conflict with the Tesla. And so I don't know. I'm just. It seems like it's not very obvious what's. Here's this protest for this, in my perspective. So they're protesting Elon. I know they've done parked Teslas. I think they've gone to dealerships, of which I think there are 2 in San Antonio, Texas, and I don't think there's any in Austin, which is, I think, to take note because I think maybe they're manufactured in Austin or something like that. But as far as a dealership where Teslas get sold to an individual, I don't think there's one in Austin. But, correct me if I'm wrong. All I know is there's 2 dealerships in San Antonio, and I'm just like, I don't know. It seems weird to me. So people in San Antonio, they like cars that they can drive because of the power of a car, because of the components of a car, and not necessarily because it's an electric Tesla. But anyway, I see tons of Teslas in San Antonio. With that being said, um, so yeah, I think it's very interesting. Obviously, there's cameras on Teslas. It's not the individual, but the Tesla company and mainly Elon Musk, which you know, as far as subsidizing, I know a lot of the jokes about Elon Musk are he's a subsidizing queen, welfare queen of the government, which I think is probably one of the reasons why he got put on the Department of Government Efficiency, alone not with Vivek Ramaswamy, who might take J.D. Vance's place in Ohio. Oh, no, governor of Ohio, not senator. Never mind. But yeah, I just, I think that's interesting what's going on there. As far as protesting, it's a bit unclear. I mean, maybe that's just from my perspective, but yeah, I think it's a bit unclear and interesting how, from what I can see, people are talking about it. So, oh, Elon's the victim. Okay. Everybody, Elon's the victim because people are setting Teslas on fire, of which he has no financial obligation because they are bought, unless, of course, the dealership, excluding the dealership, obviously. Obviously, not disrupting the manufacturing process. So, I guess optics would be a key factor there. Yeah, and that's what I have to say about that. What else? Oh, and obviously, as far as the public, it's all about. We talk about the Constitution and freedom of speech, and obviously, this protesting is. I think they say you can't do that on college campuses. Uh, um, and I'm not surprised at the different angles some people take to that. Again, they're gonna say, "Oh, I can't have I don't have any room to talk about that." Um, but if other people made different moves, you would be correct in that. But here I am. I think you're incorrect if that's going to be something that you're saying. Um, if that is an argument that you have. So anyway, um, yeah, this terrorist group, it's very involved, and as far as the hostages, it's a bit confusing as far as political parties go. Because in the Republican National Convention, uh, I didn't watch all the days, but you know, the Democrat National Convention was something that played on every day in this house. And I know the hostages in Israel uh, from October 7th were a big thing at the DNC. Um, so I think that's interesting. Um, and again, as far as the funding goes, very interesting. You want to be and of course I have a certain viewpoint on it. I used to watch the Empire Files, and here they are, all these progressives talking about oppression of people, and not one word to say about how I have never received not one paycheck, not one conversation, not one debate, not anything. So as far as my perspective on that, um, major side eye. What's going on there? And obviously, Empire Files, their main topic of discussion, subject matter, uh, business platform would be not colonizing Mars, but Palestinians. Not many people knew of Empire Files. Um, and now all of a sudden here we are, it's an issue. Now everybody's, the Empire Files must have a lot of followers now. Abby Martin is separate than the Empire Files. Empire Files is a 501c, which means they get a tax break because of their educational value, of which professional protesters, and when I say professional, I mean they wear the vest and the hat, and they have been tear gassed and smoked gassed and stuff like that. So yeah, just really just kind of like, what am I missing here? Uh, on my Google searches in the public square where nobody knows who I am, which is separate from the fact that I've never gotten a paycheck. Anyway, some obscure, lefty show of the Empire Files all of a sudden is front and center here on not only the national stage but the world. So obviously I have my questions, comments, and concerns about that. And if you're agitating and disrupting the learning environment that is expensive to go to, so you're going to need a job in and of itself just to finance higher education these days, right? Um, and I just say that because that is an additional worry and stressor. If some people don't have to worry about money, then they don't have to worry about money. But um, that is part of higher education, is you're just going to worry about money. Um, so yeah, if you're disrupting the learning environment and you're doing so on a visa, I mean, obviously, I'm not. It's not going to be my argument that 47 is against free speech with that situation going on. But people are going to have their arguments. They're going to have their arguments, right? So yeah, I guess this was my talk this morning. The executive branch, the judicial branch, free speech, supply and demand, economics. Okay. What else? Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's what I got for y'all today. Tracy goes to work at 11. I'm gonna take her and probably go to the library, study some, read over some Texas statutes. The biggest product of all, I guess, is oil and natural gas. And obviously, yeah, there's a lot involved. A lot of, a lot involved. Um, So yeah, I guess that's it. Um, yeah. All right, y'all have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for chit chatting. A little brunch. So yeah, I'll talk to you later. Hopefully, my husband right next to me, so we can do it. Get used to it, okay? Get used to it. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later.